Fight fans? It's Monday, so let's tear open my sack and divide its contents. My mail sack. Each week leading up to a soul-crushing Triple THS on Wednesday, I use social media to pull comedy diamonds out of user question coals. Let's do this shit! Tommy Sack! First up, Mark Seeley. How come you say no t-shirts still, but yet I've never seen one of these so-called no t-shirts still, but yet you promote this no t-shirt still? Tommy, my real question is, how do I go about buying one of these no t-shirts still? It's very simple, Mark. You just go to my secret website, click on the link hidden within the page somewhere, answer 13 questions pertaining to the wreck of the Edmund Fitzgerald, the song, not the wreck. Upon doing so, you'll be directed to a sister website that also doesn't exist, where you must beat the original Contra on the NES without cheat codes. Once you've done all those steps, you can have one of the elusive still no t-shirts. But we're sold out right now, sorry. Leslie Bowman. Now that Tito's in a manager role and wearing glasses to show how smart he's become, will his intellect actually start to match his head size? And will they create a Nobel Prize category just for him? If Tito's head size correlated to his intelligence, we would have a unified field theory, a colony of humans working on making Mars habitable, and flying cars that can talk and fight evil flying cars that can also talk. Ryan English. Why is it people say they slept like a baby when babies wake up every 2 hours and wet the bed? I think that's what that expression means, Ryan. When somebody tells you they slept like a baby, they actually mean they woke up several times and pissed all over themselves. What'd you think it meant? That you had a great night's sleep and that you feel rejuvenated in the morning? Because that expression should be, I slept like a fit person who allowed his or herself enough time to acquire an adequate amount of REM sleep. This one's from Twitter, @Matt209Smith. How many terrible things would have to happen to make this season the Tough as bad as Tough 16? Short of the house exploding, I don't think anything done this season will make Tough 17 as bad to watch as Tough 16. Maybe if they change it from a show about fighting to a show about hunting for lost treasure in the United States. Wait a minute, that sounds fucking awesome. Make that happen, Dana. Tough 18, the quest for Jesse James' lost gold. This one's from Joyce Psycho. Tommy, why does your beard and mustache resemble the emblem on Superman's chest? What would make you think that, Joyce? I'm just mild-mannered Tommy Toehold, MMA personality. I couldn't possibly be this Superman you're talking about. He's way too awesome for an unassuming and awkward personality. Holy shit, what's that? Fred Madrigal. Can I get Nick to finish these sentences? Stockton 209. What? Cesar Gracie Jiu-Jitsu. What? Don't be scared. Homie, what? And an answer to this question, Nick. If a tree falls in the woods and there's no one around to hear it, did you smoke it? Tyler Williamson. Do you practice your front kicks on toddlers and other small creatures? Tyler, mainly small woodland creatures, like a rabbit or a fox. I just sort of walk through the forest waiting for one to approach me, which they always do because, come on, what tiny creature wouldn't approach me? I look so friendly. Then when they get close enough, wham! Knockout a la Spider against Vitor. Then I stake them on my beard and have them for lunch as a side for my horse meat. Eric Johnson. What do you think Alistair Overeem and Adam Sell are talking about in heaven? Eric, I'd like to think they're talking about happier times, when they weren't getting their heads knocked off by giant scary men, one of which may or may not be human. Next question, Marco Maldonado. Any relation to Fabio Maldonado? Just kidding. We saw you speaking Portuguese. How many other languages do you speak, Tommy? I speak Spanish, Russian, Portuguese, Smurf, Ewok, Esperanto, and 3 dialects of Mandarin. All is understood by me using Google Translate. So that's to say, none of them. UFC fighter Chris Clements. I get punched in the head for a living. What does SAC stand for? And what are you answering Q&A about? Well, Chris, even though you receive a large amount of undiagnosed concussions each year, you're not the only person who's wondered what SAC meant. A lot of people think that when I use the hashtag SAC, that I'm referring to the title of the show, Tommy Sack. What they don't know is that SAC is an acronym for Socially Awkward Crustacean Kingdom, which means nothing at all, but it's what it stands for. Zeus King. Why don't you have the flagship show on Thursday? TTTTHS sounds just as good. You have a 3T limit? Zeus, then I'd have to say welcome to quadruple THS, and that's a whole nother syllable. On top of that, I have to change all the stationery at the office. It's just easier to keep releasing new episodes on Wednesday at 11:59 p.m. Or I could just start the show a day earlier, but that's just fucking stupid. Jose Paz! Where can I get a Damian Maya backpack? I think I saw one at Brazilian Apparel, or maybe it was Abercrombie and John Fitch. No, strike that. You can get them at Forever 21, which is kind of weird, but whatever. Next question, Jody Mattern. Sure, I butchered that name. If I cut off my arms and legs, set myself on fire, shot myself out of cannon like a flaming cannonball, and had a steel post sticking out of my skull with a triple THS flag waving from it as an advertisement for your shitty show during the halftime of the Super Bowl, would you actually answer one of my questions that I waste my time asking you each week? No. Wait. Maybe. Patrick King asks, Rowdy Roddy Piper, Chael Sonnen, and the Ultimate Warrior without his tassels and makeup, who wins the best interview talking smack? Well, Patrick, I think the Warrior would tell you that it doesn't make a difference if he's got the makeup on or not.
With or without the face paint, I am the Ultimate Warrior.
See? I'm still going with Chael, though. Dan Brown. Who the fuck is your daddy and what the fuck does he do? Fuck. Easy there, Dana. If you're gonna ask like that, I'm not even gonna tell you. He's an electrician. Matt Ratowski! When you watch UFC events, is it usually by yourself or with your buddies from Toontown? I used to go out in Toontown to watch the fights, but every time I went to a bar, somebody would take a swig from a Triple X bottle, then bubbles would start coming out of their mouth. Next thing you know, I'm sitting outside trying to stop Popeye from fighting a street lamp while he tells me about his abusive stepfather and why he never got to do ballet like he wanted to. It just became too much. So now I watch the fights from Triple THS Studios, where I can concentrate on saying stupid shit on Twitter. Aaron Tanner, with your newfound fame, do you think your head will still fit in the same red box you used for your profile? I don't think so. In fact, I just shot a new profile picture yesterday. Here it is. That's my cheek. Stephanie Baker. If we looked you up on Ancestry.com, what kind of crazy would we see? Well, there'd be a long line of toe holds that look just like me, with either a different colored shirt or a different colored beard. It's called palette swapping. It was big in the 90s. But if you go back far enough, you get a pencil and some paper. Alright, last question comes from Cole Vick. When did you start choreographing pop stars' dance moves? He's attached a picture of Beyonce at the Super Bowl, which may or may not have been altered. Cole, I started doing choreography for Beyonce when I joined the Illuminati. You know, that super secretive group of elite 16th century Bavarians that for some reason flaunt their super secretiveness. Oh, you never heard of us? Well, we're a group of pop stars for some reason that are secretly taking over the world to create some kind of super government for Satan or aliens or Bob Saget or some shit like that. Anyway, our plan is to distract you with fucking triangles and eyeballs until you're so focused on what the symbol on Beyonce's ass was in the third frame of her latest video that you're completely unaware that we somehow overthrew the entire world's governments, despite the fact that it goes completely against all logic that people already in a position of power would somehow give that power to somebody else. And on a large enough scale to affect a planet inhabited by billions of people who can't agree on who the next fucking American Idol is, let alone who should be in charge of the entire world. What were we talking about? Oh yeah, here's another picture of Beyonce. I need to check her for peds. That's all I got, Fight fans. Thanks for submitting your questions. If I didn't respond to your question, try the same thing over and over and over again because I might change my mind. All new Triple THS Wednesday. It's been a slow week, so expect all kinds of stupid shit to fill in time. See you then, guys.